Hey guys, welcome back to the From Day 3 podcast. My name is Emmanuel and it's great to have you here. And today I am co-hosting with the one and only Meg.
Hey.
That's good, Meg.
I'm good. How are you?
I feel like you're coming more regularly on this podcast.
I know. I thought about that when you asked me to do this again. I was like, ooh,
It's good. It's good. The people like you, people are loving you.
Oh,
Your mom is asking you to, be on every single week. And
I mean,
Bring her back.
shout out to Dawn.
shout out Dawn, you know.
Yeah, we need Dawn on the pod.
Heard it here first.
So, introduce us to our special guest
Our
today.
special guest. I've known him for, I think we worked it out,
Too many.
too many years. He's a very, very good friend of mine. The one and only Zak McConnochie.
Hey.
What's up?
What's
Am I looking over here?
Man,
Looking over here.
you're over there, you're over there, you're here. Welcome to the pod, Zach.
So happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
That's good, man. I've been watching your Instagrams.
Oh yeah.
They've been blessing me.
Come on.
And the people are gonna know. I won't give any spoilers, but very sporty
Yeah.
and love Jesus big time.
I like to jump around. I like to talk about Jesus.
Oh, I like that. Should have used that.
Isn't it?
Like to jump around and swing.
Yeah.
Swing.
Swing.
Can people guess swing?
Yeah.
Swing.
Swing. Swing.
Just say swing at me and I'm confused.
Anyways, Zach,
So
welcome, man, once again.
Thank
Let's find out a bit more about you for the people. Who's Zach? Tell us a little bit about, where you grow up, a bit your upbringing and all of that.
dang. What a loaded question. I guess where do we start? So I'm half English and half Scottish.
Huh?
So a good little dynamic duo of some chill and some
Yeah.
a good little balance.
No.
Man, I love God. I love sports. I love doing creative things. Literally anything that like just gets you up, gets you going, gets you doing stuff. I'm super passionate about. Being creative is the best. So I love being able to do stuff like this and talking about God. It's a great thing to do. Great place to be.
Love that. Half English, half Scottish. Which side of the family is which?
So my dad's side is all Scottish.
All right.
Mum's side is
Proper Scotsman.
Proper Scotsman.
Come on.
Yeah.
So Zach's dad, Pete, he used to do a lot of running with my parents, and Pete was known for a while as the guy who runs half marathons in a kilt.
Yeah. Face paint.
Shut up.
Face paint.
The proper Scotsman.
Mhm.
Haggis and single malt whiskey.
Yeah, that's the one. I even went to my graduation. I graduated just this last summer, just gone, and I
Right.
went in a kilt. I was like, hey, gotta do it.
Oh, so good. So where did you grow up?
I grew up kind of like mostly in Nottingham.
Okay.
So I was like, it's a bit weird. I was born in Nottingham, and then I moved out at a very young age, just to like kind of like 40 minutes down the road. And I stayed there until 2012 when I moved back into Nottingham, where I've been ever since, pretty much. So
Nottingham through and through.
yeah, a bit of a local lad.
Wow.
Which sometimes I forget. Like sometimes I think about it, and when I chat to people, like if I was at uni or something, I'd say, like, where are you from? And I'd be like, I'm from Nottingham. They're like, what? I'm like, yes,
Where did you go to uni?
in Brighton.
Yeah. Seagulls.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Actually-
Actually, down south.
I loved it. I never watched the football team play.
Oh.
In fact, I've never actually been to a football game in my whole life.
Really?
Like not even one.
Wow.
Like never.
Wow.
Um,
Just don't like the sport.
just I'm gonna get a lot of haters for this, but I
Yeah.
just don't like football.
Wait till you find out which sport he prefers, everyone.
Just wait.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
But yeah, it's lovely down south. I wanted to be by the sea. You know, growing up in Nottingham, it's like as far as you can get from the ocean.
Right.
Okay. So I just wanted to be by the ocean.
Hey, we have a beach every year in summer
The beach.
It's
in
like in
Nottingham
Market
City
Square.
Centre.
Oh,
It was a
come
joke.
on.
It's like
It was a joke.
Oh, come
It was a
on.
joke. I'm sorry.
Just,
I'll just leave.
just leave.
I'll just
Well, that's cool. So, so how do you guys know each other?
We know each other. So Zach and I live about 7 houses apart.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
1 minute walk.
So Zach's older brother is in my year at school. So I was very close friends with him. And then just because we live so close and having other mutual friends, we just became good friends. And you guys, your family and another family are the reason I actually went to church.
Really?
Yeah, that's true.
What? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, your brother and Matt.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh man, amen. That's good.
No, no.
Look at that.
good.
You didn't know that?
That's
Yeah.
new facts there.
Cool.
Because we used to do on Tuesday nights was our youth club. in a church, and we used to carpool, all of us.
Yeah.
We used to do lifts back and forth because I think at one point there were like 9 kids going from the village to this youth group.
Wow.
So it's just constant like,
And we had a big car.
yeah. And it was always, yeah.
See it.
And then your dad would always play the strangest music.
Yeah.
Car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you live 7 doors down. Were your parents just picking up kids on the street to go to the
So the youth group was in Beeston, and we're obviously in the village.
Oh,
So we're
right.
at Trent Vineyard.
Oh,
Our youth group.
which group was that?
Trent Youth.
Trent Youth.
Yeah.
And youth.
Was that in Beeston?
Well,
What,
no, it's
Lenton?
more Lenton.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
yeah,
I just
okay.
say Beeston because everyone seems
like
to live in
Beeston, I was
Beeston.
Yeah.
No, everyone just lives in Beeston.
I don't know, like-
So then we came from the village we are, just 15 minutes down the road every Tuesday night.
Group.
There you
It
go.
was great. The vibes in,
Oh, the vibes are so good.
they were great. Yeah.
Ah, so did you grow up in church?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. So my parents are Christian, which is such a blessing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's incredible to have people in your life from a young age that can influence you in faith.
Mm.
And particularly my gran was like my gran is one of my favorite, like just people of faith. Like she's just such an inspiration, and that's been the case since I was young. So that's been incredible just to be able to grow up kind of in that setting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it wasn't really something I like took really seriously.
Okay.
You know, and I feel like that's the case with a lot of people that grow up with that context.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I was super passionate about. Or like, oh, this is what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go to youth. I'm going to go have fun. Jesus is like, he's the way for me to be able to just like go and have like a great time with my friends.
Yeah.
And
Get some free food. And,
Donuts and toasties.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of sweets, which is it's good, but it's not why we're there,
Yeah.
Right.
you know. And that whole journey for me of figuring out like, do I want to be? Why am I here? Like, what the heck am I? What am I doing?
Right.
Just with my life and just with like being in church and what does this actually mean was a really great journey, because we have a youth festival each year called DTI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Possibly a bit of DTI.
Yeah, which is massively
do.
grown,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's crazy big now. It's really exciting.
Well, was it quite small when you guys first
Yeah.
started?
So it was,
Super small.
I mean, yeah, it was a quarter of the size when we first went.
Yeah, a couple hundred people, which is actually like not that small now that I think about it.
That was one of the biggest ones in the
Yeah.
country, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's now where Soul Survivor used to be, isn't it?
yeah,
Which was, yeah.
massively.
Shout out to DTI.
Yeah.
Need to shout out TTI.
Dreaming the impossible.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, dear. Right. So, yeah, quite a lot, because the stuff in there, I think you're already starting to kind of express about how for a long period, it was kind of like just showing up, but not actually, wait, is it fully believing what was going on? Can you remember like that kind of thought process, like when you started kind of going, I've been coming along to these things, but actually, do I actually believe, you know, what I'm being taught, or is this just a tick box thing for my week?
Absolutely. Yeah, for a long time, it felt like a tick box thing. Felt like I was just like, okay, this is what we do on Sundays, what we do on Tuesdays. And I would say that I knew about Jesus. I knew like kind of who he was. Like I knew the stories, but like there wasn't really any like personal connection.
Right.
And I remember when I got baptized in 2017, and the first thing I said when I got up there was that my story's kind of boring.
Wow.
Because you hear of these incredible stories in which God just like works miracles in people's lives, and it just like is that turning point and brings them to faith, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
And my story wasn't that.
Okay.
And that actually, the journey of learning that doesn't make it any less incredible.
Yeah.
Has been such a big thing, and the fact that God will work in everyone's life. God was working through that period of my life where I just was like just attending.
Yeah.
And actually, you're like, what a lucky place to be in.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I remember, because I was at your baptism.
Yeah.
I remember in your talk you went, it's kind of a boring talk, but that's kind of why I wanted to share it. This is what you said. And I remember being like, because I remember hearing your story, be like, that's so great of the fact that it literally showed like people, like you don't have to have that big miracle like moment. It can just happen like over that amount of time. It was really cool. I remember your testimony was really cool.
But do you think with that sometimes we dismiss maybe the things that God has done, like for our lives, that we might not always like notice or be grateful for? 'Cause I grew up in a Christian household as well, and I think at a point I did kind of feel like this is just I just show up, God's this and stuff like that. But I think later on when I looked back, I was like, oh, what a blessing it was that my family kind of cultivated this culture around us that protected us, the spaces that we could go to be safe, and how much he actually informed me not making some decisions which could have got me into a lot of trouble down the line. I don't know, for you, did you ever have like those moments of then like looking back and going, oh, wait a second, this is what God has actually been doing all my whole life?
Yeah, massively. I feel like even recently, that's been such a big thought of mine.
Right.
Being able to look back and be like, oh my gosh, what a privilege. Like, how incredible is it for, like, just for my parents to have created that, like you said, that space where you're be safe and explore that. And I think that was incredible. And it's something that I'm reflecting on and figuring out, okay, as I grow in my spiritual maturity, as I grow older, how am I able to create that space for others?
Right.
You know, because actually like that's kind of the goal. Yeah. You know, like not to be creating a space that's unsafe and condemning, but to create a space that's so loving.
Come on.
That it just, you know, you want to just bring that love to people, and it's that outpouring, it's that overflowing of a cup.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I think was really great about the way that my parents brought me up, which I'm hugely grateful.
Yeah, shout out to your parents.
They're great.
Let's go with that nod there, like, yeah.
That's you.
But I love that. So what was, you know, before we get to your baptism, what was the thing then that kind of caught you, or that moment that kind of went, okay, no, I'm not just showing up and attending this thing. Actually, I want Jesus and I believe in him now for me, not because I've been tracked things. Do you remember what that moment was for you?
I remember the first moment that I encountered Jesus.
Come on, tell us about it.
Oh my gosh. It was something that I think about on a regular basis. So it was at DTI, and it was the second year I went there. So I think it was 2016. And man, the theme was fearless. That was the theme of the thing. It's about like being fearless and bold in your faith, and stand out. And you know, I went there just to have a good time, have like a weekend away with my friends. And I remember we were worshiping, and I don't remember what the song was. I don't think it matters what the song was.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I just felt God's Spirit just rest on my heart. And I just remember standing there, and for the first time in my life, I had my eyes closed, my hands out, and I was just receiving.
Yeah.
And I felt like I could stay in that place forever. Like it was just like the ultimate peace.
Yeah.
And then right like after that, it was just replaced with this energy, this passion, this fire that just felt, it was just like, this is it, you know?
Yeah.
And that was just hugely exciting. And I spent the next year kind of figuring out like, what was that? And like the question was asked, like, do you want to give your life to Jesus? And I was like, yeah, no, I think I do. And like, I want to figure out like what this feeling was, or what this prompt was almost. And a lot of different conversations figuring out, what does that look like? Who's that? What was that? Yeah. And it wasn't until the next year that I ended up going back, and I made that decision. Yeah. Because I'd had a year of learning about Jesus, learning that like, actually the stuff I'm experiencing is it.
That's good.
I experienced it again, and I just thought to myself like, man, either I'm just going to be missing out the rest of my life, or this is something real. You know? And that was 2017. And I made the decision to give my life to Jesus, and I got baptized after that.
Come on. How old were you then?
Oh, dude, I was like, how was that? 2017. I'm like 15, 14, 14, I think. Wow. I think it was 14. Yeah. Crazy.
Good kids. So in that year, like, were there specific people that walked with you that helped you to understand a bit more of this thing that had happened for you?
Yeah, that's even when we were talking a little bit about Trent Youth. Right. Growing up in that context, we're in our little small groups. Yeah. And they were just great spaces to be able to chat. And a lot of the small group leaders I'd had were like, actually, like I saw them as like super old and super wise and super mature. Yeah. Now that I'm my age, I'm realizing that I'm actually still friends with like pretty much all of them. You know, actually just like a few years like younger than I am right now. Right. And like to see how God was just using them to be able to speak into our lives, and to be able to be that person that's just there to listen, and not there to force anything down your throat, but there to just be able to allow you to learn, open those really honest and really important conversations. Yeah. And it was through that year, and through the years even just after that, going up until I left Trent Youth at 18, where we were just able to be in a context in which we're all growing together and having these important conversations. Yeah.
I love that. And I love the way that you've put in, actually emphasizing the importance of like those small groups, like on a weekly basis throughout the year. because I think even in the first episode when me and Joel were talking, he had an encounter at a youth festival, gave his life to Jesus. When I gave my life to Jesus for the 4th time, it was
Yeah.
it was real actually.
That's so real.
It was a youth festival as well, and I think there's a question in there, like 2 questions. First question is actually, what is it about those kind of spaces like DTI and youth camps that seem to cultivate this kind of environment where we're able to connect with God in a deeper way and encounter Him and be transformational for us? And then the caveat question to that is, how then is it so important that we don't live from festival to festival, but actually walk through the discipleship of like what God is doing in those spaces? 2 questions. Go for it, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I have many thoughts. I mean, I remember this is again Trent Youth again, but there was a talk about. So do you remember? This is a really random reference. I'm very aware of it. Do you remember the advert that was like, "Dogs aren't just for Christmas; they're for life." I remember at Trent Youth once someone doing a talk. God isn't just for DTI; He's for life.
Right.
And I remember that talk being like, you like DTI and all these big festivals and things like that. Like they're great for people to like experience faith and like see a big group of people and get like the hype and the energy from it. But then when you come back, you have that, like, I call it post festival crash.
Yeah.
But I've had all this energy and all this hype and all this like amazing stuff happen, and then you go back to normal life and it's not, those levels aren't there again. Like you're not surrounded by people who like had the same experience. Like you're going back to school or back to work and stuff.
Yeah.
So it can be really hard to like carry on through that, I think.
Yeah.
But I think something that I always remember, specifically when I was in youth anyway, was that like, whilst I know I had this experience, it was then my thing to take that experience that I had, whilst I'm not experiencing it every day, taking what I had there and explaining what it was like to people and telling people about it and sharing what my faith.
So not keeping it to yourself. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember being at a festival once actually, and it was when I was on my gap year, and it was a leaders festival. So we were on team just serving like tea and coffee. And I remember seeing a room full of like these national leaders, just like from all different churches over the world, like people who like lead the churches, just hands up and worshipping and like crying out and just speaking in tongues and all this stuff. And my friend who's on the gap year at the same time turned to me and went, how can anyone be in this room now and deny that the Spirit is here?
Right.
Like seeing that amount of people like at a festival, or whether it's like that was an adult one or it's a youth festival, whatever it is, like seeing that many people, like I think it's more of like you can't deny something like that when it's that many people. Like if it's 1 or 2 people are like, yeah, okay, like I don't know. But if you see like hundreds of people experiencing like a similar thing, like I find it's really hard to deny that that's real.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
And you can't really explain it other than it being the Spirit. I don't know. Yeah.
What do you think, Zach?
Something that me and my friend have been chatting about recently is that, like, I'm trying to think of a good way to be able to word this. God's presence doesn't become any more or less present depending on where you are and what you're doing.
Right.
And that's the same goes for how you're feeling, right? But we can be more aware of His presence. And I think it's then when we're reflecting on when are we more aware of His presence? When we're spending our days in the Word, when we're spending time with people worshiping, it's when we're talking about Jesus, when our whole lives become a reflection of our faith, you know? And for me, that was exactly the kind of thoughts that we were having, like talking about these camps and stuff. It's like, okay, you've got your amazing time where everyone is together, and because fellowship is super important, right? You know, and it is.
Yeah.
And that time to be able to be with fellow believers and stuff. But if believers stayed with believers,
Right.
Yeah.
then we're missing the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
We're doing something wrong.
The kingdom's not been expanded yet.
Exactly. I mean, we look at the Great Commission, it says, go,
Therefore
make
go,
disciples of all nations, you know, but it's important to be able to go from a place of being yourself as well.
Right.
You know, like we have to be learning the importance of that Christ-centered community, of that ability to be able to learn, to be able to grow, and to be able to have these conversations with people. But if we're leaving it there, missing the point. So if we're jumping from festival to festival, that gap that we're missing is the Great Commission.
Yeah.
You know, and that can be really hard. And for me, I know that like that was difficult because I'm like a 14-year-old in school. And I'm just like beginning to like learn about how awesome Jesus is.
Yeah.
And I had this fire, and I just wanted to share that with people.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily know the right way of doing it. But I think the important thing is that you do it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're talking about Jesus, you're talking about like, you know, that's the power of a testimony as well. Because, you know, I can't sit here and say I'm the biggest theologian ever, and I can like, you can say anything and I'll hit you with a Bible verse that's going to like speak right into that. That's not true. But I can tell you of my experience of how I feel faith in my life and how Jesus has worked. And that's the stuff that's going to get people to think like what happened.
Yeah.
And I remember going into school, talking like year 9, like year 9, year 10, I was like science, and I was just trying to talk about God. Brilliant. And I had all these people sitting there like, man, this guy's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck is he talking about?
Yeah.
And people would always like try and ask me these like difficult questions, pry in, and just like, you know, it was like as school kids do, they're just trying to like I don't know if you say something to be silly or whatever.
Yeah.
And I felt like God was massively just moving through that time. And I was like, kind of like on my back feet, like kind of defending myself a little bit. But I was just trying to be like, but I actually just want to tell them about Jesus, and tell them, like, actually, this is real. And this is a little bit of a tangent, but you know, there was this kid in our school, and I wasn't like super great friends with him. We didn't really get along. And this kid was like almost like the last person you'd ever expect to be a Christian.
Wow.
And he would like try and pick on me, and I would just like tell him all this stuff about God, and he'd try and like badly, you know, we're always going through this like thing, and I was like, man, what is up with this guy? And he was probably thinking the same thing. So I graduate school, whatever, like I'm talking like 10 years goes by, like something like that. I get a message, like it was even like last summer or like 2 summers ago, out of the blue, and it's just a message from him, and I'm like, oh, I forgot it. Yeah. And he sent me a message. He said, dude, I'm really sorry about all of that stuff that I like studied like year 8. And I was like, dude, I don't care. Like, it is fine.
Yeah.
He's like, bro, I came to Jesus.
Wow.
And that for me, I just sat there, just in tears.
Yeah.
And God was using those conversations in a way that I didn't even expect or didn't recognize and forgot about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because you talk about Jesus, because that's the point.
Yeah.
God moves through that. And it's not anything that I said that convinced him.
Right.
But God is working through people. That's the huge important thing.
Amen.
And like, if anyone listening to this is scared to do that, it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. But man, the word of Jesus is true, and it's good, and it's joy, and it's life. We're talking about that. You know, we're reading through John at the moment, and it's just talking about him being the water of life. He's literally, it's joyful, it's life, and life to the full. And we should be sharing that, because that's incredible. And yeah, like God will move through you, and he'll you know, and the words that you say aren't going to change someone's mind. But that's not the point. You know, the point is that we're talking about God, and he does the work, you know.
Come on.
Sorry, I just went off on a...
Hey, this I'm like, you just go, like, let's just...
Hang on, let's just like leave.
Let's just leave. But, you know, it's evangelist. So, you know what? I love it, because it's just you just highlighting the love of God that you have, the impact that God has had, like, in your life, and that actually you don't want to just keep it silent. I think that's amazing. It's infectious.
Yeah, okay.
It's inspiring too. I mean, like hearing, I think I said this for a few episodes ago actually with Amy, where it's like having just one conversation almost of like, oh, hey, I know this guy is Jesus. He's really great. And like that, if that's all that someone has of God, like in that moment, you'd be like, that might not mean anything to them now, but in like 15, 10, whatever years, that could have been like the start of that like thought, and then that could, like in theory, that could grow and grow and grow, and then one day come back and be like, hey, do you remember that time you told me Jesus is great?
Yeah.
Guess what?
He
is. I believe you.
Yeah, so underestimating the seeds that are planted in conversations, things that we say to people, really, isn't it? Because it's powerful, you know, like years later, you've probably forgotten about that incident, and then come back because there's something that was imprinted from how you were then. So yeah, I think as you're speaking, there's just kind of like remind me how important it is for us to be witnesses, whether we're saying something or not, because we don't know the impact that it's having on somebody else. But I also love what you were saying, like, you know, in terms of taking the things that we get from festivals. I think part of my thinking when I was thinking about festivals is like, I've experienced those down moments as well when you come back and you've been in those high moments. But I've always asked the question, why? And I think kind of like now that I get a bit older, it's kind of like realizing that for those 5 days, we shut out the world in a way. It's kind of like the focus is just on, we're going to connect with God. Like in the morning, in the evening, we're going to worship. In between, we're going to connect with others in fellowship. And to me, it's kind of like, okay, how we bring that into our everyday. Because I think a lot of people come from festivals like on a high, motivated, let's go. And then they feel like, oh, okay, what do I do now? It's not quite the same. But I wonder whether there is something of, which is the word secret kept really, about actually creating space and room to spend with God. And it might not be the same way that you might have it as a festival with the big lights and the big stages, but actually I think one of you just said the same God that's at the festival is the same God that you have when you are alone at home. So the importance of like making space and room to connect to God, and then He comes and meets with you.
Yeah.
I saw this. I can't take credit for this because a really great friend of mine who's just like such a great spiritual mentor as well, posted something on his story. And like, I don't know if it was just like a little thought that he had, and it just stuck with me. He said that your ministry is an outpouring from your secret place.
Right.
And I sat with that and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I need to reflect. And I'm like, is my secret space, is my time with God the center of it?
Yeah.
Is my ministry outgoing from my time with God?
Yeah.
And that's hugely important. It just leans into what you're saying.
Yeah.
And like, it's really important. It's like, how do we make everything that we do an act of worship?
Amen.
And then it's not just about singing. Singing's great.
Yeah.
Singing's great.
Yeah.
It's not just about that. There's more to it.
Yeah.
So how do we put those things in our lives to, just to be able to do that all the time, even when we don't feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one. So what would you say to people that, will be watching and going, I would love to be in that secret place with God, but gosh, life is just life. Where do I get the space and capacity if it's not work? I'm at a stage where we've got kids and there's all these things happening and other aspects. Well, if you're like a student, you're thinking about deadlines and all these other like things happening. Is there any like words of wisdom for those about how we can continue creating this secret place? The Bible's coming out, so that actually we do prioritize spending time with God and allow Him to come and actually be in our lives and meet with us, and we can live from the overflow of that.
No. Whilst you look, if that's okay. I mean, so this is something I found quite helpful. Is I don't know where this has come from, so take it with literally a pinch of salt. What I'm about to say, but I think I've read somewhere that it takes 40 days to build a habit,
right,
or something like that. So I found. And like making habits stick anyway. So I found that for me, because I know I am the biggest procrastinator in the world, and that's everyone knows that about me. I like to put everything off until I have to do it. But if I made that time in the day, in like the evening, like just before bed, I would always read my Bible and pray.
Love that.
And I did it for I had a countdown on my phone, just like see what would happen after 40 days.
Yeah.
And I think from doing that, it made me then build this habit to the point now I'm like, oh, if I don't do it, I'm then like, okay, I'm going to do it the next morning and that night because I miss doing it.
Right.
And I'm like, it's strange. Like, that's very like a practical, like it's not spiritual. Like there's nothing like spiritual in the way that I did that, but the way that I got to that like connection time, like that personal time with the Bible and God was by doing the practical way of doing it for me. That's how my brain works. And I don't know how else I'd have done it.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
That's great. I was going to read this passage is talked about a lot, and I think for a lot of great reasons. Matthew 6. I'm just going to read it real quick from Matthew 6 verse 31. It says, "So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, what shall we wear? The pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them." Verse 33, "But seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day is enough trouble of its own." And I think when I reflect on this, I think that more and more evidently, it's almost less of a of a practical thing first, and it's a heart posture. What's our priority?
Right.
You know, and often when I feel like I'm worried about all this stuff, I'm stressing about this stuff, I feel like I don't have the secret time because I'm just not prioritizing it. And when I really be real with myself and really be honest with myself, I'm not spending time in the Word. And this is the stuff that comes first.
Yeah.
You know, God is a provider.
Yeah.
But if we don't give him the space to provide, we're too busy trying to provide for ourselves. If we're not just feeding on the stuff that's, you know, the eternal water, if we're not thirsting for the eternal water, you know, it says that we'll never thirst again.
Yeah.
And I feel like if that's our priority,
Yeah.
we spending time in the Word,
Yeah.
everything else comes on top of that. And it doesn't mean it's not going to be stressful.
Yeah.
It's not going to be hard. But if we're putting the Bible on top of all of our other stuff,
Yeah.
that's going to be where we want to be.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, the Bible and spending time with God should be first, because everything else has to come from that. Otherwise, it's like sleeping on like a rock or something. Like we're gonna wake up because we're just not prioritizing the right thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I think I was just thinking of like, okay, what about the person that goes, I can't get into the Word,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and like for me, I love the Word, but I think I've gone through seasons when it's kind of been like, all right, this is difficult to kind of like comprehend or to get into there, and then it feels more like a job or a thing to do. But actually, I think more now when I read the Bible, and I think thanks to like reading books like, you know, Andrew Ollerton's kind of like what the book is called, the Bible, the story that makes sense, kind of like just kind of open my mind a bit more about actually this is God's story, and actually how to invite the Holy Spirit to help us read. And so actually it's us kind of getting to know God's heart and God speaking into us as well, instead of being because I want to be a good Christian, therefore I need to read this. But it ends up getting to that point. I think for some people it is a real thing that they go like, okay, how do I get into
I find reading the Bible really, really hard because I'm dyslexic. So reading a paper Bible for me is really hard because reading's hard. But I found on the app, you can listen to the Bible.
Right.
And sometimes it's great. Sometimes, like, depending on, like, certain different translations have different readers and it can be a bit hard to, like, pay attention to. But I found that when I first started reading the Bible, that was really helpful. And also the Bible app, fun fact, has a dyslexia-friendly font. Also have as well.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like big letters, like a different kind of thing.
That's great that it has it.
It's weird.
One of my youth actually showed me that they've got a dyslexic kind of like Bible as well.
That's what the letters
So
look like.
it's got like some cool fonts and some different colors and stuff.
Start reading that one.
But yeah,
It's great. I love it. And for me, like, on a practical side, like, it's hard to read the Bible sometimes when you struggle with reading. So I found listening to it was really helpful.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it Bible Project?
I love Bible Project.
Like, they do really good videos of, like, summarizing a lot of Bible in a really cool way, in a visual way as well, if you're a visual learner.
So basically, there are different ways out there to be able to
so many different
being with the God in the Bible. Oh, amazing! That's Zak's alarm there to say. Well, we didn't pay him enough. He said, "That's my time, guys." You know.
I have this random alarm that goes off every day at the same time, and I can't turn it off because if I turn it off, it just automatically turns back on. I don't even know. Okay, there we go.
There we go. That's why.
It's super annoying because I literally can't turn it off.
That's such a random time
is
for it to go on.
Or 8:02?
8:02.
Yeah, it's so silly.
Such a rogue time for your watch to go on.
It is.
Oh, it's weird. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is great. I loved what you're saying as well. Yeah, just about that, like, 'cause it is, like, it can be hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've definitely been there when I've thought about it as a chore of, like, okay, like, if I read enough in one sitting, I'm just gonna take it in.
Yeah.
And, like, that's not necessarily true. You know, and that's when I think it's important to meditate on it as well. Like, if you have a sponge and like a big vat of water, hear me out here.
Yeah.
And you just go, "Badoosh."
Right.
Like, how much are you absorbing?
Yeah.
Like,
Anything.
you have to. It takes time.
Yeah.
You need to allow that time to happen, and that's when I think community is really.
Yeah.
Because if it's just up to us, we're not, we're not going to get what we need from it just by having it on us, like by ourselves, and staying with that. Like, it's really important to be reading on our own and bringing those questions to people and saying, actually, I need a bit of help.
Yeah.
That's why church is important. That's why community is important.
Yeah.
Because that's where we learn. And then, we get those people that are mentors and that we're really able to bring those struggles to.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't have to struggle with this on your own.
Yeah.
Because probably all of us have been there.
Yeah.
And it goes through seasons. But if you go through it on your own, you think that you have to go through it on your own, man, you're just fighting against a wall.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Like, because also sometimes you can read things in the Bible as well, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like that's,
Yeah.
I don't like figuring that out about like the way that, like, so I don't know, I can't take an example, but like, so you read something in the Bible and you're like, that's about me, like, that, like, relates to something I'm going through right now, and I don't know how to deal with that. Like you're saying, the community aspect, like that helps.
Yeah.
You can go to people like, hey, I read this and I relate to this. Can we talk about it? And having that little support is really, really.
That's why pastors there as well. They're able to to be in a position where they can say, actually, I can help you with this. And I had some really deep theological stuff that I was just like wrestling with a couple months ago. And I was like, yo, if I just sit with this on my own, I'm just going to be tripping out. I'm like, what the heck am I doing? And I actually just went and spoke to my pastor.
Right.
We just went out for coffee, and he just spoke some light into it in a way that I would never have come to, because I just don't know. I'm not that guy.
I love that.
And that's the thing as well, is a lot of people, something that I think about as well is, like, we don't always, like, Christians don't always have the answer that people are looking for.
No.
So like, if you're going out and talking,
God does.
God has the answers, yes. But like, if you're going out and talking about God and Jesus to other people, and they ask you a question you don't know the answer to, it's okay to say, I don't know, but hang on, I will read the Bible, I will talk to my pastor, and I will get back to you. Like, it's important to know that you can say, I don't know.
Yeah.
About things like that.
It's an invitation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say, I don't know, man, let's explore this together.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to dive into
Yeah.
this. And that's a hard thing to say.
Yeah.
I find that as well. Like,
Yeah.
someone asks me something, I'm like, I want to out there and just say, I'm gonna say this stuff, and you're gonna be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I can't tell you an answer because I genuinely don't know. But let's explore it. Let's go and talk about it. Let's find someone who does know.
yeah.
Love that. Let's find someone who does know. Does anybody know everything?
Yeah, one person does actually. Yeah.
Big guy.
Yeah.
So that's so good. I think already we can tell the impact that 14-year-old boy had, and actually it's something that is still remained, and probably, well, you will have it, or let you speak, kind of like started shaping who you became from that young man and your passion for Jesus. So I could already tell, you love talking about Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Evangelism is something that is quite key and core to you. Share with us a bit of moving from that place of going, I'm not gonna keep what God has done in me silent, and then I'm gonna step out and going into different spaces as well to share the goodness of Jesus. Just tell us some stuff.
Yeah.
Speak words. Speak things.
Yeah, man, I not always got it right.
Right.
And I don't always get it right. It's something that I think just before I even start talking about stuff, it's really important. And I still make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna. I know I'm gonna, because I'm messed up and I'm broken. But I think talking about the theme of podcasts and just all of that stuff, being creative and social media, man, what a tool. We live in an age like no other, where we're just able to, we have this access,
right.
We have this ability to post what we want.
Yeah.
And I've always been a creator. I love making things. I love sharing things with people. And something that's really been on my heart recently is, okay, how can I use these things, use these gifts that God gives you? Because I think everyone's got gifts.
Yeah.
Something. And God is able to use those things for his kingdom, for his glory. How do we use those things to get back to God?
Right.
And I've been posting a lot on social media recently. I play volleyball, and that's been just a a huge passion of mine for a while.
Honestly, it's fantastic content, right? Like,
It's crazy.
I've found myself, people talk about doomsday scrolling. That was the day I found myself on Zak's Instagram page, just watching his volleyball videos, and they're funny, but also sharing about Jesus there.
Yeah.
So that was just a plug for your Insta, right there. Go follow up Zak on Insta.
Yeah, man. I think the important thing, what I'm really trying to have as my heart posture behind content is to get people just wanting to get to know God. You know, like you can see a video, and like what I don't want is people to see my stuff and just go like, oh, it's fun, it's fun, it's fun. Right. I want them to see it, be like, here's this Jesus guy he keeps talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna put my phone down and go figure this out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and back when I just gave my life to Jesus, we're talking back year 9.
Yeah.
I'd like just downloaded Instagram, and I just posted like memes that I found online, like of Jesus, every single day without stopping. And people, the more and more annoyed people got, the more and more, okay, this isn't the right response, but I was like 15, more standoffish I got, and I was like, if you don't like me talking about Jesus, get out of here.
Yeah. Remember that.
Yeah, which is not the right way to deal with it.
Right.
Okay, it's not. I want to preface that.
Yeah.
And then I kind of stopped doing that for like a really long time. And then when I started getting a bit more serious about making content again, my walk with Jesus was also just, it was getting really good. And I figured out like, man, I want to be able to do this for him, and I don't want to do it if he's not part of it. If he's not the reason I'm doing this, I don't want to do it.
Love that.
So just over a year ago, I started to make videos every day. The goal of that was just to figure out, like, I was in a bit of a creative like slop period where I wasn't creating enough consistently, and I wanted to change that. And my walk with Jesus was getting really just diving into some good stuff at that point. So I figured out, okay, number one thing I'm going to do is post a video about Jesus every Sunday. Right? That's a rule. And another rule is if I feel like something's on my heart to talk about Jesus any other day of the week, that takes priority over a volleyball video, over a travel video. Right. That's the priority. And my hope through that was to be able to to connect this love for volleyball, sports, travel, and all of this stuff. Yeah. And my love for Jesus, and just bring it together and be able to use it as a way just to speak about him. And man, it's just been so incredible. I didn't know that there was a Christian volleyball niche until I accidentally found it. It's been super fun to explore.
That's so good.
I love it. Sometimes when I'm on Instagram and, you see all this stupid Instagram stuff that everyone sees, the random, like, rubbish on there.
Growing thing.
Yeah. And then every now and then Zak's videos pop up and I'm like...
sliding on the floor.
Like, just doing his crazy high jumps and, like... I think there was one that came out recently where it was, like, you and your friends playing volleyball with a fence.
Oh, we used a metal fence.
Yeah.
Like, because we just wanted to play more volleyball. And there was just, like, metal fence. Yeah. Not a good idea, by the way. Like,
no. But it was just, like, the most... I was like, that's so wholesome.
Yeah.
Content. And I love it when it comes.
Man, there's so much bad stuff in the world, and we just want to...
Yeah.
The positivity, yeah. Would you say your content is primarily targeting for non-Christians as an evangelistic thing, or is it just like, actually, Lord, I'm just going to pour out whatever creatively comes to mind, and whoever is blessed and touched by it, then so be it?
Yeah, like a little bit of both. I think it started off as that second one, is just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have a structure for this. I'm just going to do anything and everything.
Right.
And I think that as the year went on, that became more focused. And the goal became like, okay, how can I build a space for Christians to be able to come and learn and just get another reminder of just like dive into the word, have that space, but also to be able to, do that evangelism stuff. So that's become a real big focus of mine, of like saying, I love volleyball. I love all this, like sports, like the uni student athlete life is great and it's cool, but it's not more important than Jesus. Because I got that wrong. Because I started to prioritize that over. I prioritized my volleyball, prioritized going to the gym, doing this stuff, whatever, over my relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
Man, it was like, my body was great. My heart was in the ground. And because like we talked about earlier, my priorities weren't in the right place. So I thought, okay, first of all, before I post about anything, I need to fix this.
Right.
Like, this has to be something that happens internally, right? To be able to, before I even start thinking about like talking about this. So I think a huge thing for me was just getting right with God, fixing up, major repenting.
Yeah.
And like having come back to God and just giving it to him, I learned that, like actually that's such a that's such a position that a lot of people are in.
Yeah.
And I think that people could struggle with that because I have, especially in the world of sports, it's really hard not to just get like, not to let that become your life.
Right.
And yeah, I wanted to just remind people, come back to what matters the most.
Yeah. That's love.
Yeah, exactly. And whether that's sports or something else, like, I feel like we've all had it in our lives, right? These idols
definitely
take hold, and these things can be great. They can be blessed. They can be used for God's glory.
Yeah,
but not if it's above being with Him.
Amazing. That's so good, man. And do you think you'll venture out more then? Because at the moment, is it mainly Instagram that you're focused on, or do you think you'll ever do like YouTube stuff or?
Yeah, so I actually
TikTok?
did YouTube growing up like all the time.
I remember you doing YouTube a lot.
Yeah, YouTube is actually my favorite because I especially hate short form content.
Right.
I was gonna say, when you started doing Instagram, I was so shocked. I was like, wait, why is he now doing that? He doesn't like short form stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually I prefer Instagram. I don't have TikTok because I had it. And I just caught myself so I just got rid of it. I was like, I'm just not gonna download this again. Just get rid of it. But yeah, YouTube is actually kind of where my heart is, and I want to do more travel stuff and use these opportunities through sports and through travel to be able to evangelize and bring people to God. So it's mainly at the moment, like Instagram and YouTube is really what my heart is.
Aren't you going camping soon?
Yes, I was gonna say, tell us about travel.
Yeah, I've got a one-way flight to Japan for like three weeks time.
One way.
So I don't know how long I'm going to be away for.
I know.
Okay.
Crazy.
Tell us how this idea came about. Why Japan? And
Man, I just always thought it was cool. Like since I was young, like pretty much. Like I was like, it's just a cool place. Like I want to go. And I started like teaching myself Japanese like back in the day.
come on.
It's kind of rogue. And yeah, the more I thought about it, I was like, I really want to go. And I felt like I was always just waiting for the perfect time. Then I realized like, if I keep waiting for the perfect time, I'm never going to do anything.
Yeah.
Like life it's not going to work that way. So like a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm just going to like March 2026. And I plugged out there and I'm like, okay, I'm committing to that, whatever. I'm going then for who knows how long.
Wow.
And then it coincided with like me graduating. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go for like a working holiday visa and which gives me up to a year.
Okay.
And I just thought, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. But the most important thing is that Jesus is the center. If he doesn't want me to go, even though it's been my dream destination, if he doesn't want me to go, I'll cancel that flight. I don't care. I'm not going. It's not more important than him. So yeah, figuring that out has been huge because also Japan is like one of like the smallest populations ever had. It's like 0.1% of the population is Christian. And I just got a heart for wanting to help the Japanese church as well. And that's been a difficult thing to think about, which is going down a little bit of a tangent, a rabbit hole, like on missions, our heart posture. And I've been really like needing to drill this in that I'm not going to change Japan.
Okay.
I'm not me on my little missions trip, however long that is. I'm not going to change the country.
Yeah.
You know, there's people there that are doing that long term.
Yeah.
And our goal as missions is to support them. It's to support a longer term mission that's bigger than us.
Yeah.
You know, and that's been something that I've been really wrestling with and just wanting to just give up and be like, look, I'm not that guy.
Right. I'm not the savior.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No. So I want to be able to go and figure out what it looks like to support local missions.
Great.
And, you know, do that in some really small areas where there's not even like, there's not stuff going on.
Have you done other mission trips before?
No.
Okay. So in the past, so travel, it sounds like you got passion for travel.
Yeah.
Has it just been kind of like seeing the world and then?
Kind of. So like, well, I've been to Canada quite a lot. So I'm repping at the moment, Camp Minneowi. I went there in 2022 and spent like 4 months in the summer just at camp, which is a Christian camp, which is amazing.
Nice.
It wasn't specifically missions, but like, you know, it's just equipping you to be a leader, to grow and to get closer to God. And we were just really helping youth and kids of all ages kind of grow up and be in a really great environment, learning about God. And I loved it so much that I just kept going back pretty much. So my Canada adventures were huge and huge, amazing part of my life.
I love that
thing. And that really gave me like the heart for just wanting to, just use all these adventures, use these times and using travel as a way to talk about God. Yeah. So I want to do that with Japan. And do I know what it's going to look like? No, but like, we'll figure it out.
So at the moment, do you know anybody in Japan or?
I do actually, yeah.
Okay.
I do. I've made like some really great connections. Like some of my friends down in Brighton, are actually Japanese and Christian, which I was like, first of all, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
So I'm getting connected with them, and yeah, just with the whole church family, figuring out how can we support them. Trying to really just bring our church in Brighton into connection with that church, trying to develop this like longer term kind of thing and see how it goes, really.
Oh man, that's so
I
exciting.
can't wait. I'm so excited for you.
Are you gonna be like documenting like
Yes, sir.
come
We're posting on YouTube and Instagram, so definitely check it out.
So yeah, subscribe and all that jazz. You know?
I remember when you told me you had this one-way ticket booked, I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Don't you want to go too? You don't have much.
The door's open to everyone, by the way. Do you want to come?
If I could, I would 100%. But I'm busy.
We need you here for the next year.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have a job. I work on from day 3.
There you go. Well, that's so exciting, man. Let's all be praying for Zach because he kind of like goes on this trip, and actually that God uses you mightily whilst you're out there as well.
Yeah,
Super exciting. I think when this comes out, you'll just feel like getting on a plane,
dude.
flying
God.
out.
That's such a wild. I've like totally disassociated from the thought of like actually going. Like, because you talk about something enough, like the reality of it kind of like has lost on me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be sat on the plane like, whoa, the hook.
Have you got anything like planned? Like, have you got like accommodation? Like, have you got certain places in Japan you're going to like planned, or are you just going and seeing what happens?
Kind of. Like my first like month is kind of planned out. Like I'm gonna do a little trip with a friend. We're gonna hang out, and then I'm gonna fly to the top and try and hitchhike to the bottom of the country.
Oh wow!
And I don't know how well that's gonna go, and connect with churches along the way, but we'll see.
We'll see, and we'll be following every single moment.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
My little catchphrase is "Go trek it."
Yeah,
I'll be like trying to just like go trek it, you know, just like go do it and jump in the deep end and see how God's going to move. Because if He's already, you know, he's already moved so powerfully in my life, and it's continuing to.
Yeah.
And I know that this isn't going to be Him moving like even more, but like it's going to be Him continuing to move, you know, and like the space in between now and then as well. It's not just like a buffer period, but like God is working through that time as much now as He will then, you know, as well. Like He's always working.
Yeah.
And that's just been my prayer. Like keep moving, keep using me, keep like do whatever you want. Use me, send me. I'm yours completely.
Oh,
Oh, pray.
oh, so good. So excited.
It's me, Lord, send me.
Yeah.
Come what?
Yeah.
It's a
Listen,
worship song.
can you give us a little Japanese?
A little Japanese.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, please.
It's to see what you're saying is true to us, you know.
結構まだ日本語上手じゃない。でももっと練習したいとイエスが大好き。はい。
What does that translate to?
I was saying, yo, like at the moment my Japanese isn't great.
Oh,
Like I'm gonna do more, and I really love Jesus.
Ah, there you go.
that's awesome.
In the dub, I'm gonna put, wow, it's so great to be on from day 3. I love Jesus.
This is the best podcast ever.
And,
It is. I'm so blessed to be here. Man.
pleasure. We love you being here. So awesome. That, you know, Zach, you've alluded a few times on actually having those moments where you've had to go back and just kind of check things with your heart. And I think the reality is all of us in our faith, we have those moments where we hit that wall. And we feel like, where are you? What's going on? I wonder for you, has there been a moment like that or moments like that, and how has your faith helped you, overcome and live in the resurrection life that Christ has got for you?
Yeah, man, that's such a good question.
Thank you. That's the whole theme of the podcast.
Okay. Dang.
Well,
Yeah, when a little like kind of context, when I got baptized, my gran gave me this little like glass box thing, and it had, in fact, I look behind me, it's got Proverbs 3:5 on it.
come on.
It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your understanding." And that became just my favorite verse, like as of then. And I felt whenever I was struggling, I just look at that, and it was just like a little thingy up in my room, a little like reminder. I looked over and I just like, sit in that, know that like if I trust in God, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And in 2023, like my first year of uni was like rough. Like I just like didn't enjoy it. I was having a terrible time. I just hated being where I was. And that change of like jumping from kind of a gap year life of freedom, like uni, just felt like super difficult.
Yeah.
And I wrestled with it the whole year. I was just like, every other line of what I said was going to be, I'm going to drop out. Like, this, I'm going to drop out. And I went to camp again that summer, and I just brought all this baggage with me of, I've had a terrible year and I don't want to go back to that.
Right.
And it wasn't even like anything particularly like bad happened. I just like, I didn't feel at home. And something that's worth noticing there is that I actually also I wasn't plugged in with church.
Okay.
I was like church hopping around. I was always just trying to say like, I'm trying to figure out like the right place to be. And I didn't commit, settle down to a church. So I didn't have that regular like connection. And yeah, I was wrestling with that a lot. And I decided that I just came up with this plan of, I know what I'm going to do. Like I've got this whole plan of like, if I just like drop out, do whatever, I'm going to chase my dreams. This is going to be good. I'm going to be happier. My friend, when I was telling them all my stuff, just said something to me that just rocked my heart. And she looked at me and said, I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you what the right or wrong thing to do here is, but where will you get closer to God?
Wow.
And I hadn't thought of that. And I sat there and I was just like, and she left and I just sat there and I was like, and I let that sit with me for a while. And then I actually came up with this whole plan. And it's just this little thing in the back of my head. And I think very few times in life we have those massive, powerful God moments. I felt like I had that, and it was saying, trust me, just go back. And the thought was, do I leave and go back to something that I know is going to be comfortable? I know I'm going to be happier. I know this, I know that. Or do I go back to uni where I'm going to struggle and I'm going to really need help? And in my head, I was like, why am I even weighing these two up? Obviously, dropping out is the better idea. And the more and more I pushed down this thought, the bigger and bigger it became, where I was like, this did not come from me, because I had every reason to want to just get out of there. And yet I just felt like God was telling me, just trust me.
Come on.
It got to a point where I was like, okay, I recognize now that I'm choosing my will and His. This is an important decision. And by God's grace, somehow, well, I don't even think I was able to do it. God was working the wheel the whole time. Let's be real. And I went back and I trusted Him. It was the best decision I ever made. And man, that's just been such a point in life where I look back and I'm like, the amount of stuff that I would have missed out on, the amount of life, the amount of growth towards Jesus I would have missed out on if I just listened to myself.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And I dodged a massive bullet with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, even when it doesn't make sense, trusting God is the right way.
Amen.
Like literally no matter what.
Yeah.
It's the right thing. And I was very lucky, because that was a moment where I just really felt God's massive, powerful hand moving in my life.
Come on. Praise God.
Yeah.
You literally.
Absolutely. Absolutely love that. That's great encouragement. Just keep trusting God. Yeah.
And that can be scary too. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
like no, you can go somewhere that's so comfortable and leave like the hard things behind, trusting in like to know that God's plan is for you to take the harder path in that. It's not going to be easy, but trusting in God, knowing that He's got you in that hard path, is really hard to do. So it's really cool that you did that.
It's all God, man.
I know, but it's
It's all God.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna have to try do a Skype pod
Yeah. Oh, that would be so
and
fun.
find out how
I
you
actually mentioned that when Zak was saying he was going on a trip. I was like, we can Skype you in. It's fine.
I would love that. We'll do like one when I'm away, and then we'll like come when I get back. And
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
I'll have like a massive beard or something.
Oh God,
Yeah, I'm gonna be a different individual.
change man.
I'm still like,
yeah. The Japanese will be like crisp then, you know. That's that. Like, did you have any other questions?
Man,
It's like,
got so many, but I feel like they'll go on, so we'll save it until next time. Because I mean, I've known you for a long time, and there are some stories.
that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, definitely gonna have one. We got Deacon in the back.
Shout out, Deacon.
Shout out Deacon.
Are you having a good time? You enjoyed?
Any questions, anything like that? For you?
No, not really.
I prefer in Japan, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
This is brilliant. Any other wisdom that you'd like to leave with the people? Any encouragement? Any?
Wisdom-wise, bro, I'm not that guy. And if anyone tells you they are that guy, they're not that guy. They're not that guy, man. Jesus is the guy. He's the only guy. He's always been the guy. Be the guy.
Sounds like great wisdom to me.
But just trust him, man. Like, man, it's. I know that it's hard. Like, and I don't know if I just feel in my heart there's someone that's going through something really tough. And man, if you're wondering whether or not he's there, if you're wondering whether or not he's real, he is. You know, and I don't know how many times like say it, but man, God is good. You know, bigger than the circumstances, bigger than what you're going through, in a way that's so incredible. You know, come to him, man. He's literally waiting with open arms, and he just wants to invite you in, and he really does love you. And God is bigger, and if we trust him, it's the right thing to do, no matter how hard that is. Yeah.
Oh
So-
man. Oh man. Two last things. Tell us quickly about your cross. I've been looking at it
Bro.
through the pod.
Isn't it?
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Dude, so I taught myself to wood carve in lockdown
Brilliant.
because I got kind of bored. I was like, yo, I love just like making stuff.
Yeah.
So I like taught myself to carve wood. I opened up a little like Etsy shop for a bit, and I carve like different like spoons or like
Yeah.
pendants, lots of surfboards, lots of cross necklaces and stuff. And I made one for my little brother Simeon before he went to YWAM, which is a missions organization, and he went away about a year ago to YWAM and Madagascar, to YWAM, to Hawaii and Madagascar.
Nice.
Which was awesome. And I made him a cross necklace before he went. And whilst he was away, he found this like bit of wood on the floor, like it's like special like Hawaii wood. And he came back and he's like, yo, I made you this. So
That's
my little
sweet.
brother made me this, and I love it. It's super janky.
Yeah.
Like there's like a bunch of like bits that are like, because it's like apparently it's this really like difficult wood to cut, pretty much. And he's chosen like the most difficult way to do it, but I love it. My little brother made it on missions, so he always wears the one that I made, and I always wear the one he made. And he's actually doing missions in Germany right now. So my little brother's actually been a huge inspiration of mine to be able to
Shout out, little bro.
do that. Yeah.
That's Emmanuel.
So yeah, my little brother made this. I dropped it on the beach in Brighton. It broke in half. I felt really bad, so I fixed it.
Really up together.
But you know,
There you go. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So Simeon, I did a cross as well.
Simeon, when you're back, we'll get you on the pod.
Oh yeah.
oh my gosh, that would be
definitely.
Oh
incredible.
my gosh,
That would be
McConnochie brothers on the pod.
not together.
No, it's not
together.
happen. No, it can't happen.
Why?
Because I've
my
witnessed it
goodness,
before.
We just went on a little trip to Canada together. Like, I found some really cheap flights, and we both just like, man, let's go. And man, it was chaos.
Yeah.
So I feel bad for my friends that like hosted us. Oh, dude, it was.
I love them both
together.
pieces, but we can't do it. The room's not big enough. We need a bigger studio for that.
One day. Zach, please plug your Insta and your YouTube
Yeah,
for the people.
man. Okay, Instagram is MCZak. That's ZAK. MCZak._. MCZak was taken by this one guy who has like one follower and like didn't post in like 2 million years. So I sent him a DM. I was like, hey bro, I hope you're doing well. Like, any chance that we could like swap usernames? Didn't get back to me.
Yeah.
Drunk.
Looking for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then YouTube I think is just Zak McConnochie. Good luck spelling that one.
Yeah. Good luck.
MCCONNOCHIE. I repeat, that's ZAK MCCONNOCHIE.
There you go.
YouTube. Yeah. Feel free to not watch anything as well. Like, if it's not your thing, like that's also like so fine. But yeah, I'm just gonna try and be real on there, and particularly when I'm away. Like, it's just gonna be like documenting life as it happens. Really. Yeah. So
Awesome. Well, Zach, thanks once again for making the time.
I've got a
Come in
conversation.
Thanks for having it.
Yeah, mate, we're gonna be praying for you as you go on your journey, and look forward to having you back on.
I'm excited for that. Let's do a Skype pod. Man.
Let's do
Fun.
this
Some
back
fun.
pod.
I can make it work.
Yeah, just awesome. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to another great conversation. Loved having Zach here with us, and sure we'll have another great conversation next week as well. And Meg's gonna sign us out.
Oh, wow, I am.
Take it away.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. There's some cool content coming your way very soon.
Really cool.
Very, very cool. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment to your heart's content. We love you guys. And don't forget to ring that doorbell.
Ring the doorbell.
Ring that
See you
doorbell.
later.